We're talking villains. NeuroNerds.
Oh, God. That was pretty funny, actually.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are
The NeuroNerds. Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
Today, we're chilling with villains.
Yeah, if you guys are 90s kids, you might remember from Disney Channel or Toon Disney Channel, they used to have Chillin With The Villains.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that where you got that from?
Yes. I am not that smart.
I listen to a lot of hip hop, so that's just something that they say a lot.
Oh,
I was
no.
I was like, oh, she's referring to like DJ Quicks. I'm chilling like a villain.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was referring to cartoons, Chillin With The Villains. It used to be like, it was like an hour or two block.
And it was weird. It was all the villains and for like a show, right? Because I remember Jafar and, oh my God, some other obscure villain on Disney Channel. And it like had all the bad guys like hanging out.
Yeah, but it was like, it would be, I think if I remember correctly, it was like some of the TV shows that like the villains played a big part. So like Gargoyles was on Chillin' With The Villains, or it was like a special or something.
Or the Beagle Boys.
The who?
The Beagle Boys. Am I the only one that watched DuckTales?
I watched DuckTales, but I was like 4.
So you don't know who the Beagle Boys are?
No.
But you're talking Gargoyles and You're even
Yep.
talking about Darkwing Duck.
Yep, because Darkwing Duck was on before Gargoyles.
That's right. And it came on after DuckTales. Didn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it was the bear, he flew a plane.
Yeah.
Tailspin, yeah. I think it was Tailspin, then Darkwing Duck.
Oh my
God. Or
God.
it could have been the Tick.
These are Spoon. I love the Tick.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. So today what we're talking about again is our favorite villains and or what makes them our like someone we love to hate or hate to love.
So NeuroNerds, we normally like, we talk like neurological injuries and then we talk like a lot of nerdum. We're talking a lot of nerdum right now. We'll throw in maybe some brain stuff.
Yeah, because some of them might be like
messed up in the head.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's how we're going to tie it in. They all got issues.
Yeah, so just like the title of the episode, we're
chilling with the villains.
So for me, like Lauren was talking about like one-note villains. The one-note villains, they're cool. They're not great. They're cool. But my favorite one-note villain is Galactus. He's the Earth Devourer. He has one purpose, and that's to it's not even to take over the universe. It's literally just to go from planet to planet to eat. He's just a hungry dude. And like he's going
from in and out to in and out.
That's all it is. Like he's traveling the world.
I wanted animal style.
Like how they have like people who travel the nation going from like McDonald's to McDonald's, like catching the McRib.
It's Locust.
He's the only Locust is like low key because see what I did there? I brought it back. So like Galactus, like he's the Earth Devourer. He has like these people that he sends out to like check the planets and be like, hey Galactus, we just murdered all the people so you could kind of come in and eat because this planet seems delicious. So I love Galactus. But that's a Marvel villain. I'm a bit because I'm like super Marvel guy, even though I believe DC has the best characters and villains, but Marvel just knows how to transfer them into like the movies and cartoons.
But see, again, I was going to say most of Marvel's villains, especially in the MCU, the cinematic universe, are one note.
They are.
Villain. Hela, she wants to just take over the world.
She does, but I love Hela.
No, so do I. But I'm saying, unless they bring her back, again, they're all one note villains. The Chitauri. They're just there to take over the world with Thanos. Thanos just wants to take over the world.
Malekith, the Dark Elf,
take over Asgard and the world. Who else are we talking?
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to
take over the company,
take over the world, right? So a lot of these characters are kind of boring.
Yeah, because
they're cool and they're like flashy, but at the end of the day, it's like literally they just want to take over the world.
Right. Like I think. One of my favorite characters was the Red Skull, but Marvel does what they do with all of their villains. Yeah. They kill them.
Yeah.
Well, he's not dead. He's somewhere floating around in one of the which stone was it? The Space Stone? He's like floating around in the Space Stone. I'm sure because Red Skull isn't dead. I'm almost positive.
He's not dead in the cartoons. He's not dead in the comics.
So like, and he comes back, right?
Yes.
So he's coming back, even though Hugo Weaving's kind of being a dick and saying he doesn't want to do it.
No, but
he signed a contract, man. Come do it.
He's dead in the MCU.
He's not dead. I can all but guarantee that he's not dead. Whether he's recast or not,
we'll see.
He's coming back.
Oh, they better not recast, and that's Hugo Weaving. You do not recast Hugo Weaving.
No. If anything, you recast to add Hugo Weaving like they did in V for Vendetta.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he does not get recast. Like that doesn't. So do I. Oh my god, he's the king of the nerds.
He
right?
is.
He's like
Lord of the Rings,
yes.
Matrix. I mean, he's Agent Smith. So like DC has.
Speaking of a one-note villain, but that grows is Agent Smith, right? He like defies the one-note villain trope.
He was great though.
My God, wasn't he?
He was great.
Except for like the third one, Revolution's like okay, CGI going on.
I don't count that.
No,
I don't count that.
Matrix 1 and 2.5, like half of 2.
Yes, half of 2 for sure. And wait, I was like, wait, are those werewolves? What's happening? Yeah. I don't understand what's happening. It's so weird.
Monica Bellucci was amazing. I loved her in that movie with Persephone.
Persephone, she was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I like the dude that like made the climax cake.
Oh, the Mandalorian? Mangalorean?
No, that's Mangio. Damn it, that
Something.
guy.
Yeah, that guy. Starts with an M. We have brain injuries. So my one-note villain, if I'm staying away from comic books, on that same like I want to destroy the world kind of thing or take over the world. Just go back to Lord of the Rings. Sauron,
yeah. Sauron's kind of a dick.
Right? He's serving his Dark Lord. Now you said Malekith, and that's all I'm thinking about. Morgoth, right? So he's just there serving Morgoth, who's been killed and banished.
So you just made Lord of the Rings nerdier.
How did I make it nerdier?
I didn't even know that person existed. I thought the major bad guy was Sauron.
No. There's an even higher bad guy. His name was Morgoth.
There's a nose? Because I know the all-seeing eye of Sauron.
This would be like the spirit, but the aura behind him. Like Morgoth is like the god. Sauron was like, if you think about Morgoth as like an evil devil god or something, like again, this is not correct, but if you think about him as like the overarching evil devil god,
right?
Then Sauron was like his Lucifer, like his angel that he sent down. His emissary, who tempted the elves by becoming, I think it's pronounced Anatar, who was like an elf. And in the Peter Jackson movie, there was a moment in the third movie where Aragorn is like seduced by that right before he does his final charge where he says for Frodo. In the original version of the film, they even filmed the deleted scene where there was going to be an image of Anatar, which was the elf.
That would have been
was Sauron.
Weird though.
Yeah, because if you didn't know, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be the elf, and then Sauron was trying to seduce Aragorn to not fight. And so, but then that was like the pivotal point where he says for Frodo, like he defied the very last like bad guy, like the very last thing that even tempted the elves for a bit. Like that would have been cool from a nerd standpoint, but not from a film standpoint, because you have to be really involved to understand that.
You do, because you Laurened the heck out of that.
Where was I going at this? Oh yeah, Sauron. He's a one-note villain because he's just there to take over the world and corrupt the world. Like he has no other like.
He's Brain. He's trying to take over the world.
God, he is. Like that. That's where I'm like, there's no complication. He's the embodiment of evil. Because again, Lord of the Rings is it comes from a very Christian background, mythology, and again, it's England. Like that's where Tolkien was coming from, and so you literally have the fight between good and evil, which is awesome. But again, your evil is just the absolute evil. There's no gray tones to him.
Right.
So there's you really can't root at any point for Sauron.
So what makes an amazing villain?
Complications.
So
I like to vilify I like to vindicate my villains. Like I like some gray where you go, oh no, wait.
Right. You have to understand where they're coming from.
And it doesn't have to be a tragic reason. It just there's just like, oh no.
Our music department.
Okay.
At Sleep Vision.
Yes, our nerd adjacent opinion.
Adjacent music creator. He's the one that did our theme. He says that like a good villain is the hero of their own tale.
Yes.
So
which is what we are. Just don't become a supervillain, guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to be a supervillain. So they're gonna do that in Infinity War with Thanos.
I don't like that.
No, I think it's gonna be amazing.
No.
So like he feels what
he's
doing.
Gonna kill my Steve Rogers.
He's absolutely going to. Dude, he should have died like 3 movies ago.
Fuck you.
So like you're gonna understand why Thanos wants to
I don't want
destroy
a sob story.
half of the universe.
I don't want a sob story
in
from
the
Thanos.
in the comic books. He wants to appease
Death.
Lady Death. Like he's like, hey, I like you. Here's half this universe of souls. Now come be my chick. That's kind of in a nutshell. That's
I
what he
would
does.
rather have that be the reason he's having all this death. I don't want him to have a sob story. I don't want him to have like
a sob story.
It has to be.
It's not. Like what's Loki's sob story? You know what I mean? Like
he does have one.
Okay, so why can't Thanos have one? If Thanos doesn't have a reason to want to destroy half the universe, he's literally a one-note villain. He's just like, I'm just going to destroy some shit.
I consider Thanos a one-note villain.
I don't at all.
I don't like Thanos as a villain.
I think he's amazing.
No.
And I'm so
Josh
excited.
Brolin. I love you, Josh Brolin. You're amazing. I just watched Sicario again the other day. You're awesome. I love you.
Ooh.
But I hate Thanos. I'm like...
Did you see the trailer for Soldado?
Yes, I have.
Woo, fire. It's going to be so good.
Yes.
So Thanos, I think, is going to be good because, again, every villain is the hero of their own story. And I'd like to know why he is doing what he's doing. Why he decided to wipe out Gamora's entire people, but keep her on as his stepdaughter.
Did his real children get murdered in his planet? Why is it sounding like the Romulans?
But how does he procreate?
Well, yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, this is sounding a little too much like Eric Bana in the Romulans.
Is there going to be like a fappening with like Thanos and...
Okay, move forward, move on. So we've discussed what we like about our favorite, like what makes a better villain. What makes a better villain? So, can you pick a better villain? And let's steer clear of like the obvious. The Joker deserves his own. Heath Ledger's Joker. Okay. Heath Ledger's Joker deserves his own episode.
He does. So for me, the Joker is one of the greatest villains ever because he doesn't necessarily have an origin story. There's been several.
Changes.
I love how Heath Ledger, they were like, he's got nothing in his pockets except for
knives
lint and knives.
Lint.
How great is that? He custom made his clothes, so you don't even know what stores he shops at. Like he it's so vague, and the stories that he told, they could have been true. One of them could have been true. None of them could have been true. That's what's great. It's so vague. You just know that this dude is a little batshit
and that
crazy.
Makes him frightening because
it does.
There is you can't pinpoint a motivation. You can't try to figure out how to reason with someone. He's literally almost coming as a specter of chaos. Like
yes.
He's
an agent of chaos.
Yeah, but he becomes metaphysical. Like he's supernatural.
Right.
He's like, my God.
He was never born. He was just here.
Yeah. It's almost like it.
Hey, Georgie. So I love the Joker. I love two of the Jokers. Okay, so as good as Heath Ledger was an updated version.
Is it Jared Leto?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Joker should not have a grill and a tattoo that says damage on his forehead. It's stupid.
Move on.
So, and I know you love Leto.
I love Jared Leto. I didn't exactly love the Joker, but I love Jared Leto.
Yeah,
he's on my phone.
He is.
He is literally the lock screen of my phone.
A shirtless photo of Jared Leto on her. Oh no, he has a shirt on in that photo.
Yes.
But saved in her photos is shirtless pictures of Jared Leto.
He was asking for someone to help him shave his beard, and I volunteered as tribute.
As tribute. All right. Is this it? Three fingers up?
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Nicholson's Joker, I argue, is just as good in a completely different way.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
It was literally comic book come to life, and Nicholson was perfect. I never thought that anything could be better than that. And then Heath Ledger came out and just like blew my socks off. And again, I can't say that he's better, but he's absolutely not. Just equally as good, just different.
It's a different version of the Joker because it reflects the Batman of that time.
It does. Like do you prefer your Batman set in the real world? Like, oh yeah, I could see how that's like real. Yeah. Somehow Nolan did that where it's like, oh yeah, it's
plausible.
Yeah, Batman could totally be a dude.
Yeah. Just a random...
in like today
New York.
Like do stuff. So like he made that work. Or do you prefer your Batman to be like literally coming off the comic book pages?
Yes.
You know, so
and Michael Keaton very stoic and doesn't talk a lot.
Right. Yeah, Batman shouldn't have like long dialogues, especially Christian Bale's Batman. He shouldn't.
It's Batman voice.
But no, okay. So the one good thing about the new Batman is that he has that thing, the Batfleck, that thing to change his voice.
Oh,
the one thing. So he doesn't have to worry about talking like this. He doesn't have to sound like the Cookie Monster. So, and speaking of Batman and villains, since we are chilling with the villains, Batman has the best rogues gallery. It's just hands down, every single one of his villains, every one of the like his the nemesis, How would you say it? Come
Sure.
on. Yeah,
Yes.
Come on, I barely speak English. You have to help me. So like every single one of them could be a main villain in I think any of these like big huge blockbuster movies. You know?
Agreed. When they're well done.
So the best Batman movie I've ever seen, I was playing Arkham City.
Oh.
Seriously, incredible. It was a comic book come to life, great action, great stories. And there was so many, like I fought Killer Croc. They brought in Firefly. They brought in like Killer Moth was in the background. It was crazy. Like there was so many villains. Zaz, one of the darker Batman villains. Do you know Zaz?
Yes, I do.
So Zaz is crazy. And for every person that he murders, he cuts himself.
Oh, I love it.
Which is funny because you haven't seen Black Panther because you're a horrible person. Black Panther's villain, Killmonger, amazing villain, one of Marvel's best villains. For every person that he's killed, he does the same thing. So he has like all those marks on his body. So Zaz has that. And he has marks everywhere. So I wonder if Marvel got that from Zaz.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait a second.
That's weird.
It's all incestuous. They all borrow from each other.
So Zaz is like this dope like serial killer kind of villain because a lot of villains in comic books, even Batman, are cartoony.
Yes.
Actually, one of my favorite Batman villains, I think our music producer would enjoy this one because it's music related. The Music Meister. You know about that?
No.
So the Music Meister is from Batman the Animated Series. No, not Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Brave and the Bold, the one that came after the Batman animated series. And the Music Meister is like his power is he makes you sing.
I love it.
It's so cartoony, but it's great. So Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser, he did the voice of the Music Meister in the cartoon, and I just remember he comes out on a note like a piano thing, but it was like an actual music note, and like he slid in and he has like these cool music note sunglasses, oh my god, and this cane with like a music note at the end.
I could have sworn I seen this guy like in West Hollywood, like
it makes sense. Well, who, Doogie Howser? Exactly. Yes, you did. and he I'm the Music Meister. Yes, without the cracking voice at the end, and like he would just the whole episode was a musical. So he would make Batman sing, and then Batman would sing, and then Black Canary would sing. It's crazy. Like
this sounds like Xena, like her music episode.
It really is. So it's a funny episode, but it's actually really, really cool. And the Music Meister he's kind of a dope cartoony villain. Not me. Hey, he's a one note villain. Oh, see what we did there? Puns, we've got them.
Oh God, we're so punny. Okay, well, so on a more complicated villain that I like, one of my favorites is if you've seen Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yes.
Hannibal Lecter,
oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
How great was he? He was on screen for like 12 minutes and won an Oscar.
Anthony Hopkins is an amazing actor. He does no wrong. Even as Odin, some people were like, he might have phoned it in the dark world, but
he was still great.
Oh my God. Great. So what I love about Hannibal Lecter in the books, okay, because again, the Silence of the Lambs series, including Hannibal and Red Dragon.
Red Dragon
wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. And then including Hannibal Rising.
Come on.
You know what? It wasn't actually. It wasn't that bad. Okay. It's with the actor Gaspard Ulliel playing a young Hannibal, which he's hot too. So there's something about these. They're these villains that are not. Again, one thing that makes villains seductive, right? A good villain doesn't have to be gorgeous, doesn't have to be stunning, but there's something about them. There's a charisma about them that is attractive, right? So if you look at Hannibal when he meets Clarice, right, in Silence of the Lambs.
Hello, Clarice.
Actually, they're saying it's what's that called? Where is it? Not the butterfly effect, but it's the where we hear things and it's actually not what happened in the alternate universe.
Does he not say that?
No.
What does he say?
He says say, hello.
Oh, he doesn't say hello, Clarice?
Yeah, no. If I remember correctly, because it was like Darth Vader never says, Luke, I am your father. It's no,
I am your father.
But it's the same thing. Hello, Clarice, I believe is never uttered in the actual film.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to watch it. It's just a dope movie.
It's a great movie. But there's a charisma. Now, part of it has to do with how it was filmed. I watched a video that really broke down like how to create terror in your audience through filmmaking techniques, and part of it had to do with how he was framed in the scene compared to Jodie Foster. But in the books, Hannibal Lecter is extremely smart. Mads Mikkelsen, is that his name? In the TV series, he was supposed to be a European lord. He was a count, I believe.
Like Dooku.
No.
See, had to bring in Star Wars somehow.
So he was a count. Well, I already did with Vader.
This is true.
I just smacked him. So he came from this noble background. He was extremely well educated when he grew up. He has I believe it's an eidetic memory. And then one of the things that Hannibal has, he's so brilliant and intelligent. He has compartmentalized his mind in the sense of creating like a palace in his mind. And everything's in rooms. And so like he's able to visit the rooms or whatever to get his knowledge or to recall things.
Like Sherlock.
Kind of, yeah. And so when you meet him, you can see it in Anthony Hopkins' portrayal. It's not far off from the original Hannibal, where there's something seductive about him, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's off-putting. Something's up with him, especially when in the scene when Jodie Foster's walking up to him, like you have like a guy who's not talking, a guy who's kind of fucking crazy, a guy bouncing off the walls, and then you come into this like normal looking guy who's just standing there and like says hello, right? And you're like, okay, something's really off if this is the most dangerous guy. But you get a sense of terror from him, and I think that's so powerful in a villain where it's obvious. It's not obvious when you meet them, like Sauron or Galactus or Thanos. I'm a big bad guy, right? I'm evil, right? But Hannibal Lecter, you get creeped the fuck out.
Yeah, he's super creepy.
Right? And there's this eloquence, this articulation
even
to it.
Describing what he did. I ate his liver with a side of fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Yeah. Like, and that again is all to the delivery of Anthony Hopkins. God bless this man. But that villainy to him. And then if you watch his origin story, which is Hannibal Rising, which was pulled from the books, that again he suffered in World War II, right? This is again where you do have your sob story. Him and his sister were I think it was Russians that they were hid out trying to hide. They were killed by the Germans. Then there was like some Russian guys that held him and his little sister hostage, Misha, and then they ate his sister because they were starving, and they made him eat some of the soup they made out of her.
Oh, do they have a side of fava beans and a nice Chianti?
No, they don't.
Okay.
And so, then he grows up out of this, and he grows up with this knowledge that he ate his own sister. So he starts on this campaign of vengeance, trying to right the wrongs that were done to him and his sister. Talk about a damaged psyche, right? He's brilliant, but with this horrible backstory. And so again, the hero of his own mind, right? Absolutely. The hero of his own story. He's taking vengeance for his sister, for his aunt, Lady Murasaki. And then some even equate Clarice to Misha. There's where he would kind of start. I think there was a point where he actually brainwashed her in the books. He brainwashed Clarice it would have been in the Hannibal movie, which is the one with
Julianne Moore?
Yes, Julianne Moore. I was going to say Demi Moore, but wrong Moore. And where she was actually believed she was Misha. He was able to brainwash her. And I think Will Graham was there and stuff anyways. But I love him as a great villain because you actually root for him.
Yeah, you do. And it's so creepy.
Yeah.
I actually rooted for him to feed that little kid some brain on the plane. Remember that?
Oh my God, that scene. It was horrifying. You're like, oh my God, did he do it? Did he do it?
I was like, yeah.
That ambiguity was awesome.
So him being like the hero of his own story, I'll tell you, like a case in point, I'll bring it back to Marvel briefly.
Okay.
Magneto.
Oh, I love Magneto.
You have to.
Yeah.
He had a horrible upbringing, and he
Nazis.
feels what he is doing is the right thing to do. He feels that mutants are the next evolution, and we're just holding, like, humans, okay, cool, yeah, we've evolved past that. We are the alphas now. We should be running things, not the other way around.
You know what? I would argue that Magneto is also coming from a point of view of like saying we're a minority, and I've seen firsthand what happens when people of power fear a minority. So his is a strike first. It's a preemptive position where he's like, no, we need to strike first before they strike at us. Whereas Charles Xavier is more of like, no, we need to make this work.
Yeah, it's like a difference between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yes.
You know?
And yes, very much so. So again, he is the hero of his own mind. He's trying to protect his people,
right,
from his experiences he suffered in a Nazi death camp.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was crazy. But again, what makes him a fascinating villain is he feels that what he's doing is absolutely right.
I think he also he acknowledges, like, yeah, I'm killing people, and yeah, you know,
right.
whatever.
He's not really taking joy. Well,
no,
he might take a little bit of joy in
his
it.
ends justify the means.
Right. It's not like, you know what we should do? We should go murder a bunch of people. Everything that he does is calculated. We're going to kill these people because they're stopping us from getting to where we need to be.
Yes.
You know, it's I guess that makes a really good villain.
Yeah.
He's not just a psychopath.
No, you sympathize with him.
He's not like Loki, just killing like dozens of people.
We're not going to talk about Loki again.
I'm just saying.
No, we've discussed this. But I was going to say, thinking about Magneto, who's another one-note villain next to him that's a great person to like contrast him with? Dark Phoenix.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Neither can I. But it's a megalomaniac, like space power, right?
Yeah. So the Dark Phoenix, by the way, the movie is going to be terrible. I'm just going to put it out there.
We've already seen what happens when they try to bring it to screen.
So Sophie Turner, Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. I gotta tell you, not the best actress. It can be hidden, I think, with her scenes on Game of Thrones.
True, because she's always sad.
But like just by herself, I don't think she's a very good actress, you know? And now she's playing the most important role in that movie. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna reserve judgment.
I'm absolutely not. It's gonna be terrible.
I'm gonna reserve judgment on Sophie Turner.
Can I tell you why? Oh, speaking of villains, they ruin.
Okay, wait. He's zoning out. Right? He's zenning out, trying to bring it. Go ahead, go for it. Okay. I don't know what's happening.
So my favorite villain.
Okay.
Marvel again.
Okay.
Apocalypse. I'm a big fan of X-Men the animated series.
Yes.
And Apocalypse just had such an amazing presence.
Yeah, Apocalypse on screen this time was stupid.
So good. And then how do you ruin Apocalypse, number one? How do you ruin what's the dude's name? Star Wars the pilot Poe Dameron.
Oh,
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor.
Incredible actor. How do you make him boring? How do you make the most likable guy in every movie he's ever been in, including Ex Machina, where he was like super creepy evil?
And you know what? Even in Super Punch? No.
Super Punch.
Emily Browning, that something punch, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Because he was that skeezy guy.
He's so likable, and they made him boring.
Yeah.
Apocalypse has the greatest Apocalypse line ever in the X-Men animated series. They're like, oh, I had no idea you were a mutant. And he was like, I am so beyond mutants as mutants are beyond you. How awesome is that?
That is very awesome.
And they made him just boring and terrible and awful. And then they had the Phoenix, who's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to destroy this indestructible mutant.
Yeah.
Because I suck. Because I'm part of Fox's X-Men universe.
Yeah.
I'm so angry now. I forgot what they did to my character.
Yeah.
That was my character.
So let's take that character you hate, that Dark Phoenix that they did. But like, think about comparing it to Magneto / Eric Lensher. Like, the Dark Phoenix, the Phoenix Force, right, is the villain, right?
Yeah, it's not the Phoenix, it's the Phoenix Force,
yeah. Right? That takes over Jean Grey and makes her a villain, right? If you're watching the animated series, it was like a 10-episode arc or something like that.
It was awesome.
Yeah. But even then, she's still a one-note character. Like, what was her motivation?
Speaking of like other characters,
yeah.
See, I think DC has like the best villains, but I'm going Marvel because they just make better movies.
Yeah.
Even though this movie was a terrible movie, Spider-Man 3 with Venom.
Oh.
Right. With Topher Grace as Venom.
Yeah.
So Venom's a great character, I think. I don't know what Tom Hardy's going to do with it. He's amazing.
I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy does no wrong.
Well.
Come at me with Bane and I will come at you.
Are you kidding me?
Bane.
I was in the hospital. From my stroke. I don't remember this, but my girlfriend showed me a video. I had like the beginnings of sleep apnea, and they put a CPAP machine on me. And while I had the CPAP machine on,
were you talking like Bane?
I was talking like Bane. I don't remember exactly what I said. I was like, it would be very painful for you. And that was me like 2 weeks after having like basically brain surgery for my stroke. So like I love Bane.
Yeah.
I love Bane, one of the best characters. So anyway, so like Venom, the guy who directed Spider-Man 3 didn't want Venom in the movie, but the studio's like, nope, you're gonna put Venom in the movie.
Okay.
So it was kind of like half-assed.
Yeah, like threw him in.
So the arc that he wanted Venom to have like his own movie, like he wanted him to be the main villain in like future movies. His idea for Venom was like scorned obsessive girlfriend. I know that sounds weird. So in the comics,
I see what you're saying.
So in the comics, like Venom, the symbiote, the alien symbiote, it bonds with Spider-Man, right? So that's why he kind of looks like a black version of Spider-Man.
Right.
So when Spider-Man like gets rid of him, he feels like a scorned woman.
Yeah.
I don't want to say woman, just a scorned
lover.
Lover. Yes. So like all Venom wants to do is get back to Spider-Man. So that's why he emulates him. He looks like him. So but like, so the arc that they wanted to do was, that's what it is. Venom is like kind of like causing chaos and being a dick to get Spider-Man to come out so he can reunite and bond with Spider-Man again, which is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it? It's like Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we wanted to be. So I think Venom was going to be dope. I don't know what they did on screen. It's god awful. It was just, now I'm in a bad mood. And then again, DC, I think DC has like amazing villains. And why is the God of War look like a Tin Man in Wonder Woman?
Oh yeah.
Like why?
I always my Ares will always be Ares from Xena, and no one can come at me.
Oh, and also why in the sequel to Wonder Woman, Cheetah, who's a badass, right? Why is Cheetah being played by Kristen Wiig? Come on, man.
I know.
It's just weird. I love Kristen Wiig, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna do a dope job. But like, why is that your go-to?
Yeah, there's a lot of other people that could play a badass.
And they're like, no. So Marvel wins because they have like a lot of humor. So we're gonna make our bad guy very humorous.
Is she gonna be the comedic relief?
I think she's gonna have like a lot of
one-liners.
She has to be.
Oh no.
Right?
Oh no.
Just like they have like Bro Aquaman.
Oh no. That's still my biggest disappointment is freaking Jason Momoa.
My man. No, stop, Aquaman. You talk to fish. I think Black Manta in Aquaman is a dope villain. So like growing up, I didn't really know much about like the villains. Right. I would just like see them in the comics, and I didn't know like backstories because I don't know. I didn't buy a lot of comics. I was a poor kid. But just looking at him on the pages of the comic, I was like, man, that guy looks awesome.
I know.
He just looks really cool.
The Manta. Oh, there was a kids movie that had a manta ray that was a bad guy.
Really?
Yeah. Was it the penguin, the Pebble and the Penguin? No. Yes.
Was that a movie?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was an amazing kids movie. It made me cry. But there's
By the way, you just went, no. Yeah. No. That I was like, okay, I think I'm going to have to take it to the hospital.
I'm going to have to find out what movie that was, but I think it was The Pebble and the Penguin. But there's something about a manta ray that is beautiful. Manta rays are one of the most beautiful things, but I mean, they can be huge, like a bat ray, like, and they're terrifying because they're you don't know, they're unknown, they're intimidating.
And when Black Manta gets upgraded, he turns to Devil Ray. I don't know if they'll do that in the movie,
but I mean, it's still what's nice about it is they're taking attributes of a real animal or thing that is kind of scary, a little bit of the unknown, and then putting it in, and it's like, ooh, I like that.
Another great villain from Batman, Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
Liam Neeson was cool.
I do
Batman
like Liam
Begins,
Neeson.
But like the animated series, the immortal Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
But it's Ra's. There's no H.
Continue.
It's RAS. It's RAS. It's not Raish.
It's like GIF versus GIF. I know.
It's GIF. I don't care.
It's GIF.
I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care what the creator says. It's a GIF.
For Christmas, I don't get a bunch of GIFs for people. Okay, it's GIF. It's a GIF. Come at me, bro. Agreed, right?
Yes,
you can't argue. You can't argue that. There's no H. It's Ra's.
Yes.
So it's Ra's al Ghul. That's one of my favorites. Hugo Strange is another great Batman villain. Do you know Hugo Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, like because he like wants to be Batman. Another one who I think would be amazing on screen would be Hush.
I don't know who that is.
So Hush was like boys with Bruce Wayne as a kid, and like their families had like beef, and then like later on, Hush basically has so many surgeries to look exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
And yeah, it's
We could have 2 Christian Bales on screen.
no. I think he's done with Batman.
No, I know he's done, but I would love that.
You could. Don't worry, Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna be the next Batman.
Oh,
Mark it.
Oh no.
Joe said it today.
No.
It's gonna happen. But
no.
you know, the Batman hasn't even started filming.
It can't be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Why not? I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
No,
He looks exactly like my buddy John Licht.
No.
He does.
No.
So who would be your Batman?
I don't know.
Not Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Tom Hardy?
I want a new one.
Bane could be Batman.
I want a new option. I love Tom Hardy, but Tom Hardy is Bane. I wish Bane had a better character arc, but I'm okay with it.
I was good with it.
I did love the relationship between him and Talia. I love that.
I was molded by it. Oh, he was so good.
Yeah, he was good.
You know what it was better than? The Joel Schumacher Batman and Robin Bane.
That Bane didn't say anything.
No, yes he did. He said Bane.
Oh yeah.
And he also said bomb.
Oh god.
You remember he was popping the bombs? He would bomb.
Right.
So that's what bothered me because Bane, speaking of like one note characters, he made him literally one note.
Words that start with the letter B.
That was it. Because like Bane, what makes him so amazing is that he's as physically intimidating and as strong as he is, he's that smart. So
and at the same time has that much of a weakness exposed. Right. But if you think about it, he's a good foil to Batman. A lot of Batman's villains are foils to him or dark reflections of him.
Right.
But Bane here has the intelligence and the physical ability, if not more than Batman. But at the exact same time, his weakness is out in the open. Mm-hmm. It's his mask or it's his pack with the venom in it. That can easily be damaged, right? Whereas Batman's quote unquote weaknesses are more internal. Mm-hmm. So that's something I really liked about him too.
They're like, oh, here's a picture of your family, Bruce. Oh, no. And then he beat him up. I also like, what's the name? Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Freeze was dope. God, who else? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah, those are, no, I'm not even kidding. King Tut.
Oh, God.
All horrible Batman villains.
Okay. So we're good. So this episode was basically chilling with the villains for the entire time and mentioning just some brain issues.
Yeah,
just a little.
Yeah. Wait, are there any like villains with like brain issues? Obviously, all of them, but like some with like literal brain issues. Oh, Two-Face. Two-Face went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a
split personality.
Split personality for
dissociative disorder.
Oh, I have dissociative events. They suck.
Yeah.
Those are not fun. That's why I have my puppy.
That's good. So again, holler at us. Tell us who your favorite villain is and why. And if you like the one-note villains, we'll forgive you, but tell us why.
Yeah, the one-note villain it's like fast food. It's cool every once in a while, but like there's bigger and better things out there.
Yeah, like put some effort into your character arcs, guys.
Exactly. So definitely follow us at the NeuroNerds. NeuroNerds everywhere on Instagram. NeuroNerds are everywhere.
I know. Just make sure to, like, if we say anything wrong, come at us, please. Like, correct us.
Yeah.
Or like if you come to argue, like come to play.
Especially with Lauren, because Lauren is like a super nerd.
And I'll go research things.
Yeah, so, and she yes, she will.
I didn't research anything for today.
No,
I just came up with it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's kind of a problem. It's like, again, your nerdom knows no bounds.
It knows no bounds.
So everybody out there, the NeuroNerds, we are here to help.
Yes.
Reach out to us.
Be the hero of your own story, but not as your origin story for being a villain.
Boom.
Yes.
That just happened.
That is your takeaway for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here all night.
Tip your waitress.
Yes. So again, follow us on the NeuroNerds. Join You So Rocks and Joe So Rocks to share your stories and join the community. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. NeuroNerds are here to help. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, NeuroNerds out.
I think we got that down.
Yeah, now we got it.